Nothing else, if it gets you to be a little bit selective about the group rides that you get into and what you think about before you get into these group rides, well, that's great. That's really awesome. That's as good as it gets. Shut up at the stoplights, man. One of the other rules. Shut up at the stoplights, Leonine Shift. Just shut up. And they've done talking at stoplights. I really just can't help myself. I really just can't help myself. Had a great couple of rides this weekend. The weather was perfect. Unbelievable December weather, and so did a couple of rides with what I would call groups. One of them was just me and one other rider, who's my favorite rider to ride with. But the other day it was 4 of us, which definitely meets anybody's definition for group ride. And so these are the sort of the guidelines that I've come up with. The first is you really want your group to be between 2 and 6. When the number's greater than 6, you're spending a lot of your time and energy worrying about what everybody's doing and how to stay safe. And it's not that that is unmanageable. It's quite manageable for me. I've ridden in a group of well over 100 riders and several over 25, but I didn't enjoy it. Like, what are we riding for? I mean, I get it. Like, that group ride I did, and I'll put the link to that video right here. It's a great thing to say, yeah, I've ridden in a group of 100. Cool. I can mark it off my list. And it's done. But that doesn't mean it's something I want to do again. I just didn't enjoy myself. And I find that once you get to a number greater than 5 or 6, the enjoyment factor decreases accordingly. The second thing is you want to ride with riders that are approximately your skill level, or at a minimum sympathetic and willing to tailor the ride to your skill level. And I guess that requires some explanation. I've ridden in groups where the average rider in the group was over my head. And one such ride in particular, I consider myself rather fortunate to come out of unscathed. Or, you know, our egos get us into all sorts of trouble as human beings. If you're going on a group ride, that you're not there to impress anyone, that you're riding with people that are already familiar with your skill level to a point where you know it's not going to matter to this person how well I ride today. It only matters that I gain experience and learn some things. That's especially important when you're a new rider, but I think it's important throughout your riding career. That experience taught me to be very wary of riding with riders that are much better than me. And everybody says, oh, just ride your ride and it'll be okay. And that's true, and everybody says that, but man, that's hard to do. Make sure you're either with some people that are about your skill level, or that know you're a beginner and know that going in and realize they're going to go slower, so that you don't need to worry about keeping up with anybody, even if it means breaking up the group into smaller subgroups. Rule number 2, or guideline. There are no rules. Because it's not a rule. It's like, it's different for everybody. Like, what works for me and what motivates me and what nearly got me may not affect you at all. So it sort of ties into that, is check your motivation for the group ride. If you're doing it because you want to mark it off your to-do list, if you're doing it because it's a great experience, excellent motivation. If you're doing it because you're trying to show these three guys or these guys from a bike night or whatever that you can hang with them, whew, good luck. You got to decide what's the right number for you. You got to decide what's the right skill set for you. And you got to decide what your own, no, Lord knows, nobody can tell you what motivates another human being to do the things they do. We can guess, but you know, the only person that knows is yours truly. So anyway, as I was saying, I know plenty of people that don't do group rides at all, and I totally understand why. But I'll say this, I rode with in a group of 4 this weekend, and it was terrific. We had a blast. 2 of the riders in this group I was riding with are clearly better riders than I. They've just got more experience. Both of them have done multiple track days. Have been in it for years and years and years, whereas I'm in my 15th month. But not so far ahead of me on the street where we can't have an enjoyable group ride together. And so, and they weren't going at 105% of their skill level, well, for the most part. And then the other rider I view as equal to my skill set. You know, so that was a lot of fun. What made it great is I've ridden with all of these people before as individuals and in groups. I trust all of them as riders. They have similar goals for riding that I do. They like to have fun. We will occasionally bend the traffic laws, no question. But we also agree that there's a time and a place for bending the traffic laws, you know. Yeah, we have similar riding styles, those 3 and I, and that's what really makes it a great group. And that's probably as important as anything else in deciding who to ride with. Or it's right up there with experience and skill as far as a determination. You know, somebody can tell you how they ride, and they're not lying to you, but like, if I ride with a bunch of hyper-aggressive riders, okay, and I'm the safest of the bunch, in my mind, I'm a safe rider. But riding with a completely different group of people, they might go, whoa, my God, that Leonidas Schiff, that guy's an animal. I can't believe anybody rides as crazy as he does. So, it's all relative, you know. Compatibility is hard to determine from somebody from talking at a bike meet or having a beer. It's really, you go out on the road with them. So, you know, that's probably the best way to determine whether this is somebody that's a good person for me to ride with in a bigger group than 2. Yeah, so those are my guidelines. Number, experience and skill, your own motivation, and rider compatibility. Those are the 4 things that I try to look at when deciding whether or not I want to ride with this guy or his group or whatever. That works for me. It may not work for you, but even if this set of guidelines just gets you to start thinking about group riding in a different way and creating your own criteria for deciding whether somebody's a good group rider or a group of people is a good group for you to ride with, well then, I would consider this vlog to be a success. Anyway, see, this time it was okay because it wasn't a red light, it was a green light. It was merely waiting. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one.